You'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur. I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
Stephen A. Smith has officially gone nuclear. Again. But this time, it's personal. He just dropped a verbal sledgehammer on Jimmy Haslam for what he called blatant disrespect of Shedeur Sanders' greatness. Did Haslam sigh too loud? Blink in the wrong direction? Whatever it was, Stephen A. spun a routine soundbite into a full-blown courtroom indictment. This wasn't first take, it was fast and furious, Shedeur's revenge. Grab the popcorn because Stephen A. isn't pulling a single punch this time.
They're foul?
Hell yeah, they're foul. But allow me to twist this just a little bit, Mr. Chippendales and Doggy. It could be, I've got two train of thoughts. Let me give you the first one. The first one is he could be speaking to the city of Cleveland as if to say, don't blame me for this one. That is the man that gave Deshaun Watson guaranteed $230 million, which right now is going down as arguably the worst trade in NFL history. The Herschel Walkers of the world with Dallas years ago, and all of the Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones shipping them to Minnesota for all the assets they got. We got a couple of things that's up there.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. Stephen A. didn't just blow the whistle. He unleashed the full siren, foghorn, and air raid alert right on Cleveland's doorstep. The Browns' treatment of Shedeur Sanders? It's beyond disrespectful. It's straight-up amateur hour from a franchise that's turned mediocrity into its personal brand. Shedeur walked in with more composure, charisma, and media clout than the entire front office put together, yet they're handling him like he's some rookie errand boy who botched the coffee run. Stephen A. made it crystal clear, Cleveland's fumbling this, and the world is watching.
Is he saying that's not happening because he didn't think Shedeur would be available? Or is he saying that's not happening because we didn't want to take him?
He's not saying that because he didn't think Shedeur was going to be available. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that because in my opinion, they're saying that because he's sitting there saying, look, they didn't really have him ranked that high. They didn't think they were going to draft. I don't know who ultimately pulls the trigger on this. Here's the bigger issue. I don't even really care why he said what he said. This is what it tells me, though. What it tells me is that this young man is ice skating uphill. That's what it tells me. Because they are not in lockstep as far as how they view him within that organization. Why else would you come out and say, as I was driving home on Friday night, if you would have told me we were going to draft Shedeur Sanders on Saturday, I would have said, that ain't happening. What that means is there's enough people at the top of the totem pole who are like, nah, he's not for us. Simple as that.
It's almost impressive, honestly. A quarterback steps into your facility with a college highlight reel worthy of a Christopher Nolan blockbuster, a personal brand that dwarfs your entire social media team, and a nationwide fanbase ready to buy any jersey he rocks, even if it's patched together with duct tape and disappointment. And how does Cleveland handle it? They drop the ball. Spectacularly. Like fourth and goal, Butterfingers, season on the line hard. It's a masterclass in how to blow an opportunity.
He's basically saying, if this doesn't work out, don't blame me, the owner. This is not my guy. I didn't want him. And while some of you might be thinking, well, why is the owner commenting on player personnel? In the NFL and other sports, the owners actually do have a lot to say in who you draft and who you take. Now, does that mean they're studying the tape or they're actually doing the hard work? Of course not. But they do have a lot of say, and when there's rumors of Arch Manning going to the Browns next year if he comes out in the draft, if that's what they choose to do, this is a very interesting quote nonetheless.
Instead of capitalizing on the Shedeur wave like a halfway competent franchise with an ounce of marketing sense, the Browns are busy tripping over themselves trying to manufacture hype out of thin air. As if Shedeur didn't already show up with more buzz than a brand new iPhone drop. They're promoting him like he's a third-string punter on a rainy Thursday in October. No real spotlight. No excitement. Just clunky graphics, vague tweets, and an overwhelming wait your turn vibe. which, for the record, has never worked on a guy who's already flipped the entire college football universe upside down. Twice.
Damn it, I have a few. And I talk to a lot of people in the world of sports, a lot of power brokers, a lot of people that are decision makers and whatever. I heard a lot about what was going on with Shedeur Sanders coming into the draft. And I will contest to you, I will proclaim to you on national television that so much of what happened to Shedeur Sanders at draft day to drop to the 144th pick, a fifth rounder, when initially he was projected to be a top 2 or 3 quarterback taken in the draft, for all of that to happen to him. That was a slight, those were people that were hell-bent on making sure that Deion Sanders didn't get his way. And they went.
This isn't about whether Shedeur deserves the hype, he is the hype. This is about a franchise stuck in the Stone Age trying to run the social dynamics of a 2025 quarterback through a 2007 playbook. You can't treat a brand like Shedeur with rotary phone thinking. This is a guy who could go viral tying his shoes. Yet Cleveland's strategy looks like it was designed by a committee of confused dads who still call TikTok the TikTok. The Browns are trying to play humble chess in a flexing checkers world. Meanwhile, Stephen A. is somewhere shouting into his coffee mug, wondering how this team managed to insult common sense. You've got a guy with charisma, stats, swagger, and media experience so elite, he could probably host First Take by himself, and they're over there acting like they accidentally drafted a YouTube vlogger.
So, y'all passed on Shedeur Sanders 6 times, you took Dylan Gabriel, and then on day 3, you were seen in the room when the pick was announced. So, do we have like a collusion type of situation going on here? Now look, we don't have any proof, but what it seems like is all 32 NFL owners had a pact that they were not going to draft Shedeur Sanders. Now I don't know about you, but this man right here doesn't look to be too excited. He doesn't look like a person who just made a decision all on his own.
They don't know what to do with Shedeur because he doesn't fit their mold. Newsflash, the mold is broken. The league isn't full of humble, nameless clipboard holders anymore. It's full of quarterbacks who are also CEOs, content creators, and cultural figures. Shedeur didn't show up to blend in. He showed up to dominate, and they're giving him the go sit in the corner until we're ready treatment like he's at a family reunion. Cleveland's PR team is out here panic-gluing together feel-good segments about leadership and locker room dynamics while completely ignoring the elephant in the room. The fans aren't dumb. You think people didn't notice the lack of promotion? The awkward interviews? The way Shedeur is being spoken around but not to? They noticed. Because these fans have had to sit through enough bad football to qualify as emotional endurance athletes.
Still in shock that an owner of an NFL team came out and said, hey, I didn't want him. Like that wasn't going to be my pick. I'm putting all this on Andrew Berry. So if this fails, that's on him. Andrew Berry's got to feel some sort of betray here, because there's no way that a guy that, that is your boss is coming out and saying to the media that Shedeur Sanders was your pick, that he didn't want Shedeur Sanders, and keeping this in mind about Shedeur Sanders. How do you think this makes him feel? Like the owner is saying, I didn't want you. I had no intentions on drafting you. Like, what the? Sorry, but the Cleveland Browns is a clueless ass organization. I know a lot of people be like, the Steelers live rent free in the Browns. Like, bro, why would your owner come out and just simply say, like, this is so fucked up?
They're not going to ignore the fact that their most exciting quarterback prospect in decades is being treated like a side character in a Netflix reboot. What's worse is the panic. You can smell it. The front office is suddenly doing yoga on live TV trying to calm down the heat. Dropping vague comments about internal processes, leaking out leadership talking points like that's going to fix the optics. But it's too late. The damage is done. When Stephen A. comes out breathing fire, it means one thing: the people already know. And when the people know, you can't spin it. Why is the team acting like Shedeur's popularity is a problem to be managed instead of a blessing to be amplified? This isn't just a PR fail, it's organizational stage fright. They're scared of what it means if Shedeur is the guy. Because if he is, they have to build around him. They have to commit. And that's something this franchise has never done well. They're better at hedging than leading. better at creating fake competitions than letting a star shine. They want credit for patience when what they're really practicing is fear.
The thing is, okay, if you feel that way, why come out and say that right now when their young royal is fighting for a position and a spot on the team? How do you think that makes him feel when he knows that the boss, the big boss of the Cleveland Browns, the owner of the team, didn't want him and probably still doesn't want him? Because there's no way he wants Shedeur on his team for him to come out and say that, despite the fact that Shedeur Sanders bringing the Cleveland Cavaliers all kind of media coverage, the popularity has gone up, and he's a businessman. But it's just strange for him to come out and say that.
And it's not just Stephen A. It's every analyst with a brain who's watching this and going, seriously? The Browns have a quarterback with generational upside and the cultural clout of a rock star, and instead of capitalizing, they're squinting at the marketing department like, how do we make this look like our idea? It's almost like their mad Shedeur doesn't need them to be relevant. He's already got the followers. You've got media vultures circling, waiting for the next awkward presser or cryptic coaching comment. And you've got Stephen A. delivering monologues that feel more like sermons. Because at the core of all this chaos is one undeniable fact: Shedeur Sanders deserves better. Better rollout. Better respect. Better treatment from a franchise that should be thanking the football gods they even got him in the first place. Instead, they're slow playing him like he's a maybe. He's not a maybe. He's the moment. And if the Browns can't see that, well, don't worry, the rest of the world can. And so can Stephen A. From 3,000 miles away. On a Tuesday. Before breakfast.
Jimmy Haslam. Nobody was talking about the Cleveland Browns until Shedeur got there. Nobody was checking for your program till Shedeur got there. So I'm gonna need you to act accordingly. The fact that you got on national TV and played in this man's face is beyond disrespectful. And you know what? I know us as Shedeur's supporters and fans want to be doing things like buying his jersey, but I'm on some fuck the Browns type of shit. Y'all playing in his face at practice. All of these NFL teams throughout the draft, y'all really been trying it. You all need to boycott all of the Cleveland Browns games, not buy any of the Cleveland Browns merch until Shedeur ass is QB1.
Cleveland had one job: don't mess it up. And somehow, they managed to drop the ball before the season even started. It's simple. Shedeur Sanders is going to be a star. Scratch that, he already is a star. Not potential, not maybe if he develops, not let's wait and see, no. This isn't some late round pick praying for preseason snaps. This is Shedeur Sanders. The walking headline. The box office quarterback. The human highlight reel in cleats. He is the story, and Cleveland still hasn't figured out how to read the first sentence. They're sitting on a marketing goldmine, a generational talent with charisma, confidence, and camera-ready swagger, and what do? Shrug. Delay. Pretend like the star power in front of them is a lighting issue that'll go away if they dim the room. This man broke records in college, brought relevance back to Colorado, and turned every game into a media event. He didn't ride coattails, he built the coat.
If I'm hearing this correctly, it doesn't sound like the owner of the Cleveland Browns wanted the team to draft Shedeur Sanders, but it was the Browns general manager, Andrew Berry, that wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders. No lie, I don't think that was the best thing the Browns owner could have said. Because hypothetically, if I was a player for the Cleveland Browns and I heard the owner, Jimmy Haslam, say, this wasn't my pick, this was the general manager's pick, I would feel some type of way about that. Or actually, I would have an issue with that. Because as a player, you want to feel wanted by a team whenever they draft you. When you get drafted, you want to feel like everybody in that building wanted you on that team. You don't want to feel like there was decisions being made and people upset that they made this pick or whatever. Like, you want everybody to be on the same exact page.
And yet Cleveland is out here still trying to act like he's just another guy in the room. Please. He could throw a screen pass and trend on Twitter for a week. He could blink twice in a press conference and fans would analyze it like it's the Zapruder film. But Cleveland? Cleveland is out here treating him like a training camp walk-on. The worst part is it's not even subtle. From the PR rollouts that scream afterthought, to the awkward body language in interviews, to the vanilla, unseasoned, cafeteria tray energy around his name. Everything they're doing makes it painfully clear, they either don't get it, or they're scared of it. Either way, it's tragic. Because this isn't just bad management, it's bad business. Shedeur is one of the few players who walks into the NFL already carrying a fanbase. Go watch how certain teams roll out the red carpet for players who haven't even taken a snap yet. They get glowing articles, full social media campaigns, carefully curated press availabilities, and dramatic slow-mo videos of them sipping Gatorade. Shedeur? He gets the digital equivalent of a shrug and a stock photo. It's not that the team doesn't know how to promote players, they just haven't decided to promote him.
You didn't want him, tell us why. Tell us why you didn't want him. If you're gonna let inside information like this out to us, to the fans, to the rest of the NFL, tell us why it wouldn't happen. Because he been busting everybody out since he been there, and you won't give him any first team reps. But tell us why you won't go pick him. Tell us why. We're dying to know. I know I am. We all know why, but I want to hear from you. Since you want to tell us this info, tell us why. Because at this point, with all the collusion, all the insiders for everybody's contracts, because now we know what everybody's been asking for, and now we know why everybody knows why the owners have been saying no.
And it's so obvious that fans are starting to feel like they're watching a bad sitcom where the punchline is always, Cleveland has no idea what to do with success. This is the same team that spent the better part of 2 decades searching for a quarterback, and now that one's walked in wearing designer cleats and lighting up the room, they're suddenly allergic to attention. Let's be honest, they're intimidated. Because Shedeur represents everything the old football guard is terrified of: control, charisma, and clout. He's not waiting for a team to hand him a platform. He is the platform. Shedeur flipped the script. And instead of celebrating that, Cleveland's trying to edit him out of the frame. They want him to play the role of quiet rookie in a league that no longer runs on silence. They want him to dim his light to match the room, when what they should be doing is building a bigger stage. It's not hard. Lean into the brand. Embrace the moment. Push the hype. It's not just good football, it's good business.
Everyone's really talking about Jimmy Haslam and Shedeur Sanders, but here's why it really matters. Owners typically never do this, and it's mainly a thing like, we drafted him, we believe in him, but the thing is, he's kind of distancing himself from the pick. And it basically means don't blame me and blame Andrew Berry if this pick goes wrong, and that's brutal. And honestly, this puts Andrew Berry, the GM, all on the hook, and whenever you go out there as a rookie quarterback without any ownership backing you, it can kill your confidence. And this is just Jimmy Haslam sending a negative message to his own team and own quarterback. And it makes me think maybe he's the reason why they haven't had good quarterback play in years.
But no, instead of making him the face of the future, they're making him fight for relevance on a team that's barely clinging to its own. It's not just tone deaf, it's borderline sabotage. Because while Cleveland plays hide the star, the rest of the league is watching. They're watching a team fumble the PR equivalent of a wide-open touchdown. They're watching a franchise that could have ridden the Shedeur wave to national relevance decide instead to sit on the beach with its back turned. And it's driving people crazy. They don't know how to market him because they don't know how to manage not being in control. They can't package Shedeur the way they want, so they'd rather stall. They'd rather tiptoe around his name and hope the spotlight dims on its own. But here's the thing, stars don't wait for permission. They shine anyway. And Shedeur's already glowing bright enough to burn through whatever fog the Browns are trying to throw over his rise. You don't get to draft someone like Shedeur and then pretend it's business as usual.